Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
This is Charlene and Ty with The Truth About Cancer. And we're so excited about today's webinar, aren't we, honey?
We are. Thanks for joining us. It's been a while since we've done a webinar. And
we've been busy.
Really excited to come to join up with you today and share some information about diets. I mean, we're really excited about this webinar because it's going to really help some of the confusion that may be out there with you on which diet's best for you. So really pumped to be here with you today.
Yes. And, let me see if I've got the comments opened. See, enable chat. I think we've got the chat on. Team, just let me know if I'm doing something wrong. I want to be able to see anybody that's commenting. So, hello, everybody. If you're there, I don't know if I can see the comments.
I think they're here. They're here. We've got almost 600 people on right now.
Okay, so we are so glad that you're here. If you want, leave a comment, tell us who you are.
Yeah, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we are right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're pretty excited. We came up here to see my mom, and she's doing great. She says hi to everybody. And right now, I'm looking out. Pittsburgh is right in front of us. It's just a beautiful city, and we're having a good time. So we're really, really glad to be here with you. We just wanted to, as Ty said, talk about the different diets. We've covered so much information, Ty, about nutrition. I remember in the beginning, back in the 90s, with the things that we went through with your dad, losing your dad, we started researching about different things that treat the body, that help the body. Holistic means to heal the body. And I still remember a website in Homestead that you made about blueberries and raspberries, nutrition and things. And we've come a long way since those days. We were just learning the different properties within different parts of food that are just amazing, so powerful at healing the body or treating the body. B17, apricot kernels, all those things. But nutrition, real nutrition. Cancer is basically a deficiency in nutrition in large part and over abundance of toxicity. But we have learned about so many different types of diets and ways to really reboot the body, basically. Yeah. And what we've learned is that not every body is the same. So what works for someone doesn't work for another one. So we all have different body chemistries, and we all have different needs to consume certain types of diets, certain types of foods. So it's not a one-size-fits-all for sure. And there's been a lot of talk around specific diets. The ketogenic diet, that's a hot topic right now. Some people love it. Some people don't understand it. But it's good for some, while it may not be good for others. So do you want to get into it?
Yeah, team, we're not seeing anybody's name and where they're from or anything. Can y'all enable that so that we can see the comments of people? Hey, here we go.
Oh, my goodness, here it is.
That was something on our part. Sorry.
Okay, Eddie from Toronto. Oh, my goodness, so sorry. But David, hi, Eddie from Toronto. Lou from Texas. We love Texas. And we've got someone from Ecuador. Hi there. And
hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh, Prosper, Texas. Jennifer. I know someone from Prosper. And Fran from Dallas, Texas. We used to live there. We love Dallas. Hi, Fran. Alice. Hi, Alice. And so sorry we were missing your comments. Oh, my goodness.
It was an ID10T on our part. It was an ID10T error on our part. That's okay. No big deal.
Goodyear, Arizona. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. And Mike. Let's see. Mike and Carla from Ontario.
There's so many comments flowing through. It's hard to get them all.
Oh, a heart from North Carolina from Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Kathleen from Colorado and Montreal. Okay. Alabama, Georgia, San Antonio, Texas. Hello. Melissa, San Antonio. We used to live there too. Actually, that's where we met and married, honey. Melissa.
It is. You're right. San Antonio, Texas.
You remember that?
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
That was back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, right?
How could I forget?
That's what my kids, they have a different perspective on.
Yeah.
How old you are. So we're so excited to see you all. Brittany, love from India. Hi, Brittany. Love from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Susan from Alberta and Australia. Paul from Australia. Thank you for joining us. Anne-Marie. And that's a question. She's talking about GMOs. We could say GMOs are genetically modified organisms that have changed the state of the food from what God gave us to an altered state that really does a lot of damage based on a lot of studies. Right?
Yeah, one of the interesting things that I found out, folks, is not really found out, but just kind of rediscovered, as Charlene was mentioning earlier, when we first started researching cancer and diets back in literally in the late 90s. A lot of the things that I remember learning about then are still just as pertinent today. And we're going to talk about some of these substances that have anti-cancer effects, anti-angiogenic effects, which is just a big fancy word that they stop the cancer tumor from creating its own blood supply so that it will die. But a lot of these substances that I was reading about, as I was preparing our talking points for today, is the same stuff we learned about in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. There's not a lot new in nutrition. It's just a matter of sorting through all of the information. And granted, sometimes you get overwhelmed. There's so many different diets out there. There's so much, and there's so much bickering sometimes between people that adhere to one diet or the other diet. And my diet's better than your diet, and you shouldn't be eating that. That it's very confusing for people that are out there like yourself potentially that are not necessarily nutritional experts. And you hear somebody advocating a certain diet, and then the next day someone that's in the quote natural health expert realm bashes that diet, and so you're like, throw your hands up. You're like, what the heck do I do? So
well, the thing
we just want to add some clarity to these different types of diets and explain kind of what they are today, and kind of give you a little bit of a guideline, kind of a roadmap that you can start using to determine what's best for you.
Well, the thing is, Ty, I think that what we've learned and what the common thread we put throughout everything that we do, we researched every nook and cranny that we could find around the world and back again. Our most recent documentary series, Eastern Medicine. So we went to Asia and found out some great new information, awesome stuff. But it's not a one size fits all. People are not just little cows that function with the same stuff. I mean, we've got different body chemistries, different struggles, different thoughts. Some of us are naturally joyful and happy and carefree. Others are more stressed, which can contribute to poor health. And some people are really different blood types. You do better with more meat. Some people don't need all that meat. Some people need more protein, while others don't need as much. But we all need nutrition. And what works for one may not work for another. And I've got an example here before we really get into these different things. But when we were speaking up in New York recently, there was a lady there that was doing the Gerson therapy, and there were some amazing testimonies. Gerson therapy is a wonderful tool and way it's highly nutritious. But this woman, she had cancer and it was pretty advanced, and she was doing well to a certain point, but then she started declining. And her doctor, analyzed what she was doing, working with her, and he said, you're not getting enough you're not getting any animal protein. Right now, you need animal protein to boost your health. So she started eating meats, animal protein, and she said in her body, she felt better. And see, we want to build that roadmap for you. We want to help you to build a roadmap to a better you, a healthier you. And so we want to go through the different things that we've learned, the different ways to eat, and even fasting. And we'll start off with fasting and talk about what is this, how do you do it, what are the benefits, and that at the end of it, we can talk about how does this apply to you. So Ty, let's get into this. Yeah,
and if you are overwhelmed, that's the title of the webinar today, Are You Overwhelmed? We want to help kind of lessen that overwhelming feeling and help to give you some direction. And be sure that you stay tuned to the end, because we got a free ebook for you. For those of you that stick around to the end, we got a free gift for you.
It's a surprise. It's supposed to be a surprise, but you just told them.
It's an ebook, but I'm not telling them what ebook it is, so it is a surprise.
Okay.
They have no idea. So but it's going to be a surprise for you at the end. Sorry about that. I said ebook, but anyway, yeah, we have a free ebook for you. And it's a very colorful ebook, and it's very informative as well. So you want to stick around.
Yeah, stick around at the end, because it's a real blessing for us to get to give you something that we know will be a blessing to you and to help you. For Ty and I, we were frustrated and overwhelmed. We were so frustrated when Dad was diagnosed with cancer and we lost him within 25 days. We can't even begin to tell you how frustrating that was. And what would we have given then for the information that we now have today to be able to help Dad? I don't think that there's anything that we had that we wouldn't give for the information that we have today. We didn't have it then. And we were frustrated. We were overwhelmed. And it's been years and years that we've been researching and praying and poring over studies and books and talking to doctors and interviewing them and creating documentaries for you, so that you don't have to be plundered. We know you've got loved ones out there that you love and you don't want to lose. Maybe some of you are battling cancer right now. So as we go through these different things, we want to talk about the different ways to eat, nourish your body, detoxify your body, and talk about what's right for you specifically. We didn't have this information, but we do now, and it's our delight to share it with you. That's our whole purpose in life. We know God put us on this earth, didn't he, Ty?
Yeah, so we want to start with fasting, not necessarily water fasting, but fasting in general. So it's interesting, folks, that animals are instinctive. And when animals are sick in the wild, most of them will fast. They'll stop eating, which is kind of the opposite of what we hear from the doctor. You go to the doctor, you're sick, like make sure you get plenty of nutrition. You want to make sure that you don't go hungry. But that's exactly the opposite.
You know what, honey? I don't think they use the term nutrition. Plenty of food.
They may not. Yeah, get plenty of food, But animals in the wild, they fast. Horses fast. Wild dogs fast. Wild cats fast whenever they're sick. And so there's healing that takes place whenever we stop eating food. And so there's different types of fasting. Now, the cool thing about fasting is that no matter what diet you've determined is best for you, whether it's a keto or a paleo or a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever, there's a whole bunch of different diets that we'll discuss today. You can incorporate fasting into it to one extent or the other. And then the thing that makes fasting valuable is a process called autophagy or autophagy. It's kind of hard to say it for me. I've actually never heard anybody say it. I've just read it in books. So I'll spell it for you. It's A-U-T-O. Yeah, I think she said it right. A-U-T-O-P-H-A-G-Y. And it's the body's process of killing off and eating up bad cells. And that's one of the things that fasting does for you, is it gives your body a chance to get rid of bad cells, cancer cells being one of them, and not being overwhelmed with all the food that you've been eating that it's got to be digesting. So say it again, I can't say it.
Autophagy?
Autophagy is, and if you got your worksheet out, we hope you're filling out your worksheet. We're not going to tell you which answer that it is, but look at question number 1.
You're funny.
Actually, back in the mid-'90s, I used to teach high school in San Antonio, Texas. When we got married,
geometry, and trigonometry. Yes.
Yeah. So when we got married, I was a high school math teacher. So this takes me back to the high school math worksheets. So that was autophagy is something that is really beneficial when you fast. And
you know what? Let me just add this. Yeah. When the first time we ever did, it was a while ago now, the juice fast. We did a 14-day juice fast, and what we learned, and it was amazing how much better I felt after doing that. We got off of all food, and we just did juice, a lot of liquids, a lot of water, and different things that we did with it, psyllium husk and things to clean out our system. We were just detoxifying it, and it's amazing how much better you feel when you do this. But one of the things that we learned back then was as you fast, your body's no longer bogged down trying to digest food. So the enzymes in your body and all the things in your body no longer have to work so hard. And today's American standard diet is genetically modified non-food, frankenfood, that your body is just so busy trying to figure out what this stuff is and to deal with it. You free up your body. You're not eating food. You're just fasting, taking in liquids, whether it's a water fast, a juice fast. So then your body is free to focus on killing invaders, toxins, and all those types of things. And it really does reboot the way that you feel, because it's rebooting your health. It's getting rid of the bad guys and feeding the cells that are the good guys.
Yeah, and also it allows you to kill off the cells, the autophagy that are dangerous cells, maybe the cancerous type cells that are replicating and so forth, that have lost their ability to commit suicide. It also is very protective for your brain. Research has shown lately that fasting can be very beneficial for Parkinson's patients and also Alzheimer's patients. It regenerates brain cells to be able to fast. And it also is very good as far as from an inflammatory perspective. Excuse me, the fasting will help to decrease inflammation. And one of the main things that fasting also does, and we learned this from our Dr. David Jockers, who's a good friend of ours.
I was just going to say this today.
Go ahead, you share it then.
Yeah, there's an article out today. I want y'all to check it out, Jockers. really great friend of ours. He's spoken at our live events. The next one he'll be speaking. And so if you want to learn more in person, he is going to be at our live event. He's amazing. He's just a dear soul, and he's doing this to help you. But he has a really good article today out about fasting, the benefits of fasting. But one thing that was really a gem that you could take away from fasting on top of everything else, it helps with inflammation, all these other things, is just 1 day of fasting, water fasting, reboots your growth hormone by 2,000% just in 24 hours.
Yeah, it increases the production of HGH by 2,000%.
Your natural growth hormone.
And human growth hormone, one of the reasons that now bodybuilders will use that because it'll increase muscle mass, but it also slows down the aging process. And so a lot of people are looking at the HGH to help slow the aging. And so that's one of the things that fasting can do. And it's shown that the populations across the world that live the longest, they're calorie restricted. And that's one of the things that we wanted to mention with fasting is you can do what's called intermittent fasting. So only eat for a certain period of time, which I try to do every day. And so what I will typically do, a typical day for me looks like I get up, I don't eat breakfast, and I won't eat lunch until around 1 o'clock. And then I try to have my last meal around 7 o'clock. And that 6 hour period of time I'm eating. And then from 7 at night till 1 the next morning, 18-hour period, I don't eat. That's called intermittent fasting. And that really helps to clean out your system. It helps to regenerate brain cells. It does help with human growth hormone. It doesn't increase it to the level that water fasting does for a full day. But this intermittent fasting is really good. And it also has been shown to drastically speed up your metabolism. So no matter what kind of a diet that you're doing, one of the ways that you can make it work better, especially if you're looking to try to lose weight, is to intermittent fast while you're doing the diet. So whatever you're eating, eat during a 6 hour period or 7 hour period, and then you go about 18 hours without food.
Or you can be hardcore like our good friend Joseph, Dr. Joseph Mercola. I think his eating span is like 4 hours.
Is it?
So he really crunches it. And he's serious. He's hardcore. I mean, we've hung out with him, and he practices what he preaches. Mm-hmm. He's got it going on.
Yeah, and you can also do, with fasting, you can do what's called 5-2 fasting. I've heard it called weekend fasting, but it's not necessarily weekend fasting because you don't want the days to be together. But you can, during a week, you can eat 5 days, and then 2 days you just drink water. And sometimes people don't want to just drink water; they can drink juice. But you're giving your body a rest from having to digest a lot of food matter for those 2 days a week. But again, I've heard it called weekend fasting, but it's really not, because you don't want to fast Saturday, Sunday. You want to go like eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fast Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, fast Sunday. There'd be a gap in there between the days that you fast. But you can do that as well. The 5-2 fasting has been shown to be very beneficial. And then you've got, Dr. Edward Group, who was at our live event in Orlando. He spoke about water fasting.
Amazing.
And then he went out and he did. Was it 18 days? I think he did an 18-day water fast.
His target was a 40-day. I don't know if he made it to 40 days.
I know he made it at least 18 because I saw the video.
He said he turned 50. He said for his 50th year, he wanted to reboot his health with this serious hardcore water fast. And he's done more research on water fasting than anyone we know. And so he felt some rejuvenation and all kinds of health
and we're not suggesting that you go try to do a 17 or 18-day water fast, right?
You need to be very healthy to be able to do that. I mean, a water fast, if you really wanted to try it, we recommend, if it were me, I would try 1 day.
Do a day,
see how you feel.
Yeah.
Maybe you can extend it to 2 days.
Yeah.
And then, slowly get back into, maybe get a little juice and inch your way back into healthy foods.
And if you've never done it before, one of the things that we would recommend is that you try, instead of a 5-2, just water fast 1 day a week. Pick whatever day is most convenient for you and incorporate water fasting. Just drink water for 1 day a week. If you can't do that, then throw in some juice, a little bit of juice, because sometimes it's hard to get into that. Water fasting for 24 hours, we're not used to that, but it's very healthy. So that's something that you can try no matter what diet you're on. You can try water fasting 1 day a week. That's a good suggestion. And so that's one of the things that we feel like you can do no matter who you are out there, to implement some sort of fasting into your regimen, and it's going to be very beneficial.
Go ahead.
And then lastly, with fasting, and we're going to move on to another kind of diet, discuss more diets, it's juice fasting.
Oh,
which,
yeah, tremendous.
You've all heard of juice fasting, and we've done juice fast I've done 14. No, actually, the longest juice fast we did was 30 days.
30 days. We did it 30 days.
We did a full month juice fast.
A little more challenging.
It's been a while since
Especially
I've done
because I threw some parties, made some homemade, organic, GMO-free Italian food, homemade meatballs, unbelievable. And that was pretty challenging.
We were smelling them during the juice fast.
Yeah, and I remember just tasting a tiny little piece of that while I was cooking it. And during the fast, we had that one meatball because it's a huge party. But it was amazing how much better we felt.
Yeah. So juice fasting is always something you can do. And it's also something that you can, if you decide that you want to water fast, but it's just too difficult to start with, throw in a little bit of juice. Yeah. And that gives your body still the break from having to chew and digest like it would if it was regular
and here's a tip. If you do a juice fast, you need to drink a lot of liquids. So once an hour, we would have a large glass of juice/water. So we put a little bit of juice on the bottom and fill it up to the top with water. So if you drink 1 glass of that every hour of the day, you're getting very hydrated. So it's very good for you. You're filling your body with a lot of water and just a little bit of juice. So you're restricting your calories so that your body is not busy digesting. Instead, it's busy, digesting food, is busy digesting toxins.
Yeah, and if you do it right, even with a juice fast, water fast is different, but with a juice fast, you're not really hungry too much because you're getting nutrition. It's just you're not chewing, so you miss the sensation of chewing, but you definitely are getting nutrition, so you're not quite as hungry with the juice fast.
Right.
And you can do that. You can, like I said, you can integrate a fast, some sort of fasting with any kind of a diet that you're on. But as Charlene mentioned earlier, we're going to start out just to discuss some fundamentals about the ketogenic diet. We've talked about keto in the past. Yeah, I was going to say,
before he said the name, I was going to let you guess. What is the hot topic where some people are so upset and some people are so excited? There's this, it's kind of like a very popular diet, and Ty already mentioned it's a ketogenic diet, and we have actually done this diet ourselves. And so let's dive right into that diet.
Yeah, and we want to clear up some misconceptions because a lot of people think that the ketogenic diet is a high protein diet. It's not. It's a high fat diet. And ketogenic diet focuses on putting your body into a state of, quote, ketosis, where your body burns ketone bodies, which is fat, basically, for energy instead of sugar. It's been shown in multiple tests, mostly animals. I don't think they've done human testing on ketogenic diet. It's mostly animals, but shown that it's very effective at reducing cancerous tumors, shrinking tumors, because it removes the fuel source. We've discussed this many times in the past. Cancer is fueled by sugar. So if you remove the fuel source for cancer cells, they'll tend to die off, and that's what ketogenic diet does. Put your body into ketosis, you burn fat. With a ketogenic diet, you want about the percentage is what is important. You want what's the percentage you want that should be fat? I'm going to quiz Charlene here in a ketogenic diet. She's looking down. Don't cheat. I'm just teasing. She already knows.
Well, yeah, it's high. I think it's about 75%.
Yeah, so
75% fat, and then only a 15 to 20% protein, so lower protein. And
the fat should be good fats.
Yeah, high quality.
Like coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, ghee or ghee.
Salmon.
Some people say it. Salmon, raw butter. Those are great sources of fat.
And the misconception is people think when you say ketogenic, they're thinking bacon and butter. You know, our good friends, Josh Hacks and Jordan Rube, we've talked to them a lot about the ketogenic diet. And, you know, if you're doing bacon and butter, that is not the ketogenic diet we endorse and say, hey, you should try this. It's really a nutritiously dense diet. You can add your herbs in your garden. I mean, we grow herbs. Grow some herbs. If you don't, find somebody who's got herbs, go to your local food mart, but a lot of herbs and spices, turmeric, all these wonderful things that you can put on your food. I love, what is the salad? Why can't I think of the name? Because of the name, not asparagus, the salad that I love.
Oh, she always wants arugula.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love arugula.
She just likes to say the word arugula.
That's him. But arugula, you're so silly. Arugula is so delicious to me. It has a nutty flavor, and I grew it in our garden a few years ago, and it was so good. It was nice to just go out there, cut it down, and eat it. But it's not really dense with carbohydrates, so it's something that you can eat. But it's very highly nutritious. Put that with a few pine nuts. There's so many wonderful recipes you can have. We make homemade key lime pies that are ketogenic, and they're delicious. They're packed with the avocado that's so good for you. Nuts for the crust. I think we put a little cayenne in the crust, and it just adds a little punch, and it's surprisingly delicious. So there's so many wonderful recipes you could find for the ketogenic diet, but high fat. And it's amazing how your body shifts from burning sugar for fuel through whether it's sugar or carbohydrates. When you don't overload the carbohydrates, your body shifts into burning fat. And when we talked to Jordan Rubin, he said that that's the way really that from what he studied, God designed the body to function. We were not designed to have these carb heavy, the standard American diet where all we eat is carbs and our body just breaks down.
And you have a lot of refined foods today. And what you're focusing on with a ketogenic diet, it's not just eating fats. I mean, you can have some carbs, but what you want is you want vegetables that are lower carb and higher fiber. Because what you're looking to do is you want your net carbs to be between 30 and 40 net carbs per day. And what does that mean to be a net carb? Well, if you have something that's like, it's got 10 grams of carbohydrates, but it's got 8 grams of fiber, well, then your net carbs are only 2. So you're looking for high fiber vegetables and even some fruits that you can have on the ketogenic diet. So you're really counting your carbs. And that's really the key aspect where the ketogenic diet is different than the paleo diet, which we want to talk about next.
Right.
Is that with the paleo diet, you're not counting your carbs, but with the ketogenic diet, you are counting your net carbs. The diet, the foods that you can have on the ketogenic diet versus the paleo diet are very, very similar.
Right. It's just with you're restricting the grains, which is carb laden for the paleo diet, but the ketogenic diet, the main thing is you're switching the way that you metabolize food for energy. Yeah. So paleo diet, what would you distinguish? What can you do there that you can't do with ketogenic?
Well, I mean, with the paleo diets, they say that's the diet that our ancestors, 50 generations ago ate when we didn't have processed foods. And so there was lots of meats, lots of, animal products, nuts, no potatoes or grains, legumes are off limits. I don't think that with the
dairy is off limits.
Alcohol is off
caffeine,
limits
which what would I do without my caffeine? I do like my coffee.
She does. She loves
coffee.
Coffee.
Refined sugar. They didn't have refined sugar really. Right?
No. So, the difference really is that ketogenic diet versus paleo is that ketogenic diet, you're counting your net carbs because if you're over a certain amount, and you don't want to just guess, if you really want to make sure you're going into ketosis, there's certain things that you can get like at a pharmacy, you can measure your ketone levels and make sure you're in ketosis. But it's going to be anywhere between 30 and 50 net carbs depending upon who you are. You don't want to go over. But with the paleo diet, it's the same type foods, but you're not counting the carbs. So.
Yeah, and the thing is with the ketogenic diet, the carbs, you have foods that are maybe lower in carbs. Some nuts are lower than others, but if you have a bag full of nuts, you might have blown it because that's just too many carbs. And so everything in moderation. Yeah.
And the focus with both diets is eating real food, not processed. You're not going to have a microwaved pizza or whatever. You're not going to have anything packaged because with the paleo diet, we didn't have it back when our ancestors were eating. So it's forbidden by the paleo. And with the ketogenic diet, you're not going to have that because there's way too many carbs in it, even though there are certain pizza crusts now that you can get that are made of cauliflower or very low carbs. So there's nothing wrong with that. And when we were doing keto, we did have like a cauliflower pizza. It was fantastic.
It was really good.
So there's some similarities with the diets, but there are some differences. Main difference though is you're not counting carbs with the paleo diet. All right, let's roll to the next diet, which is, you've probably heard about this, folks. You want to bring it to their attention, honey, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, the antifungal diet. It's a Candida diet. Candida is when you have the condition Candida, it's an overgrowth of fungus, and if left unchecked, it could literally be life-threatening.
Mm-hmm. And before we go on to this, I should have brought this to your attention. With the keto and the paleo diets, if you're someone that after you eat a really high carb meal, especially processed carbs, stuff like pasta, potatoes, that are really high starchy carbs, and you love eating it, but then afterwards you feel really terrible, right? You kind of got that carb crash. Then you might want to try keto or paleo for a while, because I think that's probably your body talking to you saying high carb, high processed, high starch meals are not really what you need to be eating. So again, it's listening to your body. How do you feel when you eat it or after you eat it? It's not how you feel when you eat it, right? Because People that love sugar, sugar's more addictive than cocaine. Now, when you're eating the sugar, it tastes good, but later on you may feel terrible. You might have that crash. Same with a high starch diet. If your body feels bad later, it's telling you you probably need to go to a little bit lower processed carb diet and maybe increase your fats. So that might be something you want to try.
So yeah, I can just add to that, and that's a great point, Ty. Thanks for bringing that up. The whole thing is we weren't taught to listen to our bodies. Your body is going to tell you amazing things if you learn how to listen to it. So like Ty said, if you eat arugula, for example, you eat an arugula salad. Yeah, arugula. I say that because we kind of joke about that. But if you eat an arugula salad with pine nuts, maybe you put some avocado in there and some goat cheese. Yum, that sounds so good. I think I'm hungry. But if you're done eating that and you feel great, eat more of that kind of food. And like Ty is saying, if you know, some foods, maybe you do really well with meat. So salmon is really great for you, but maybe your body doesn't need a whole lot of meat. Maybe you don't feel good. Like if you eat a big steak and you feel really bad, don't eat steak. Yeah. You know, let your body tell you what to do. And you will, if you're in tune with how you feel when you eat, realizing, you know, when Ty interviewed Suzanne Summers, one thing that she said that was so powerful that I want you, if you don't take away anything else, take this away from this webinar today. Every bite that you put in your mouth is either feeding cancer or nourishing your body. And these diets can literally help to nourish your body in a way that if you have cancer, these are cancer fighting diets. Yeah. And not all people are the same, so certain diets work better than others. Maybe it's a ketogenic diet, or maybe it's paleo, a little more carbs, or maybe it's this antifungal diet, the candida diet that we're going to get into, or something else. But the key is for you, your roadmap to freedom and health is to listen to your body, try these different diets, maybe try the ketogenic diet for 2 weeks and see how you do. Yeah. And if it makes you feel better, I know personally when we did the ketogenic diet, I felt more energy. It was amazing. I took a couple days to adjust to this new way of eating, but I felt more energy and I lost a few pounds. And those extra pounds we lose are usually filled with toxins anyways. The toxins hide out in the fat. So listen to your body. But the candida diet is fantastic. Ty, can you walk us through some of that stuff?
Yeah, but I'm going to go back to what Charlene just said because it made me think about me personally. Listen, what she said is listen to how you feel. Listen to your body. I love steak, but I can't eat it. I feel terrible after I eat steak. So I don't eat steak. Ask Charlene. Every time we go out, if there's grass-fed organic steak available, I won't get it. I get salmon. I'll eat fish because I just don't feel good later on. So that's my body telling me, even though I might like the taste of steak, I don't do well with it, and I feel really heavy. I don't digest it well. So that's not something I eat.
But me, for example, I can't eat not a lot, but a little bit of grass-fed steak for me works.
Yeah, so it's your individuals. You know,
but
so
not every day.
Listen to your body.
Not every day for me.
So it's just a matter of really trying to figure out how does this make me feel, and you can tell. I mean, that's kind of what they do when they test for food allergies. Is you'll eat certain things and they'll they can measure it in your blood, but they're also you're gonna respond to them, and it's gonna maybe give you a headache if you're allergic to something or whatever. So you gotta listen to your body. Yeah,
I'm gonna jump in here real quick, and with wheat, for example, wheat and refined carbs and things like that, grains. Wheat specifically, I actually went and got tested for wheat allergy because I was doing really, really bad, and when we went all organic food, so we started getting more whole wheat instead of the processed grains. And I was making all kinds of delicious, wonderful food with these grains, but I started feeling joint pain, and the only change was that I think that we were eating more grain, more wheat, and in my joints, my elbows hurt, my knees hurt, and I was experiencing severe anxiety. And when we did the juice fast, cleansing my body, that took that anxiety away. Remember, I had a few years of extreme anxiety, and it was due to toxicity, the wrong way of eating. And so we learned to be in tune with our body. So for me, I don't do well with wheat. Now, because I cleanse my body, even now and again, I can have some. But if I just sit and eat a bunch of wheat every day, I'm going to feel really bad. Other people, maybe not so much. But for me, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Good point. The antifungal diet, you've all heard of candida, right? Which is basically fungal overgrowth. So there's specific diets that you can you can use to forbid certain substances that would fuel fungal overgrowth, and also include certain substances that actually kill fungus. And that's really what the antifungal diet is. The beautiful thing about this is that you can incorporate these antifungal foods into most of the diets that we'll discuss. Whether it's keto, paleo, whether it's vegan, vegetarian, or just a normal organic diet, you can make sure that you include these. So there's 2 steps in the antifungal diet, the Candida diet. The step 1 is the liquid cleanse, and this might be on your worksheet as number 5, just in case class. Step 1 is the liquid cleanse. Step 2 is the steamed veggie cleanse. So what you want to do with step 1 is you want to make a vegetable broth, and I'm just going to read to make sure I get all the parts right, from garlic, onions, celery, sea salt, and water. And so then you're going to simmer and drain it and strain it and discard the vegetables, refrigerate the broth, and then you're going to sip on that warm broth. You can heat it up if you want to. Lots of water to detoxify throughout the day. And you're going to do this for 2 days to start your Candida cleanse, sipping on the broth. Step 2 is the steamed veggie cleanse. And so what you're going to want to do is to eat fresh, organic, steamed vegetables for a period of about 4 days after the 2-day juice cleanse and the liquid cleanse. And you want to avoid the starchy vegetables like yams, potatoes, peas, carrots, beets. All of those are starches. What you want to do is steam vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, asparagus, arugula. I just said that.
Arugula.
You could probably steam arugula, but it won't be that great. But those are great.
Arugula is always great.
You can steam arugula.
How can he say it? I don't get that.
But you do that for about 4 days. So the non-starchy vegetables that are organic for about 4 days. Okay. And then the third step, I don't think this is on your worksheet, is the actual diet itself. And so the anti-candida diet is a diet that you want to make sure that you avoid. Number 1,
get your pen out, take
sugar.
notes.
You want to avoid sugar because sugar is what fuels cancer, but it also fuels fungus and candida. That's the primary fuel for fungus. So, and that's why, there's people like Dr. Tullio Simoncini out of Rome, Italy, Doug Kaufman, who will be speaking at our live event in Anaheim in October, will be talking about the fungal link to cancer. That's why there's a lot of doctors that will put people that have cancer on an antifungal diet because the same foods feed both of them.
Yes.
And so you want to eliminate sugar, white flour, processed foods, anything that's white, like it's been refined, like white flour, white rice, you avoid it.
It's like the
it converts
white death.
to sugar.
It's known as the white death. White sugar, white flour, white death. It's contributing to very poor health, disease, and we're losing a lot of people as a result of the wrong diets, the wrong way of eating. And it's the American standard diet: too much refined food, too many carbs, and way too much sugar. Yeah.
So you want to avoid the starchy, the sugars, the things that convert to sugar. And then we've got a list of the top 8 fungus killing or candida killing foods that we want. So this isn't on your worksheet.
So the first one is one of my favorites.
Add 8 spaces. But we're going to give you 8.
We want you to write these down because these are great.
And you can include these on any diet.
Yes.
And you want to kill fungus, so you can include this no matter how you eat.
I just couldn't help it. I had to say it. Asparagus is the first one.
No.
Love asparagus.
It's not. Apple cider vinegar is the first one.
Oh, that list. Okay. I'm sorry for the foods.
That's okay. Asparagus is one of the veggies you can do.
Yeah, I love asparagus. Yeah. Brussels sprouts. Those are the veggies. So those were the top 2. But apple cider vinegar. In fact, I have a story about apple cider vinegar. Okay. So Ty, being the big brain that he is, we lived in New Zealand, and I was having this major issue in my leg. I had a numbness that went from my knee all the way down to my leg or to my foot. And I was taking the children, they were very little at the time, for walks. And I came home from a walk and I could barely move. And I said, honey, I don't know what's going on with my leg. What am I going to do? And he said, honey, don't you worry. I will find you the cure. I'm going to find something that you can do and we're going to be fine. So he did a little research and found taking apple cider vinegar coupled with blackstrap molasses. So I took a teaspoon, and write this down, a teaspoon of blackstrap molasses in warm water. So you melt it, kind of get it warm, get it off that spoon into the water, and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Do it twice a day, and you're going to get better. So I did. I did this twice a day for 2 days, and I prolonged it. I did it every day. In fact, telling you about this, I'm going to get back on this because it's awesome. But I did that for 2 days and the pain was gone. It was almost, to me, it was like a miracle. remember, friends, whatever works for your body, do those things. For me, apple cider vinegar is like a miracle.
Yeah, and it's a very potent antifungal. Apple cider vinegar is. It's been shown.
Anti-inflammatory.
And all these things that we're about to list, I'm not going to cite the studies, but these all come straight from PubMed. These are studies that have done on all of these substances. But I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of these 8 antifungal, these candida killers, because you can include these on any diet that you're on right now.
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil is number 2, because the combination of the lauric acid with the caprylic acid, it kills candida.
And sauerkraut fermented. So
sauerkraut, this is number 3. Sauerkraut, all the fermented veggies have been shown to be antifungal.
By the way, on thetruthaboutcancer.com, we have a page where my sauerkraut recipe, I did sauerkraut with a friend of mine, really super easy to make, but you're fermenting at home on your own, and it's really highly nutritious. Fermented veggies, can't get enough of that. Sauerkraut is one that you want to consume. Number 4 is garlic. Yeah,
there's a substance in garlic called allicin, and allicin has been shown in numerous scientific studies to be an antifungal. So again, these are all substances you can include to kill fungus in your body no matter what diet that you're eating. Spices like cinnamon and turmeric, both have been shown in hundreds of studies, literally, to be antifungal. Cinnamon and turmeric are great spices to add to any kind of any diet.
They make the food taste better too.
They do. Well, turmeric, the curry is an Indian spice. It's not going to have the level of the curcuminoids that you need to be therapeutic.
Yeah, I take a supplement.
But you need a turmeric supplement. Extracts like grapefruit seed and olive leaf, both of those are potent antifungals. So if you think you have some sort of a candida infection, you can be taking those every day, no matter what kind of a diet you're on. Grapefruit seed and olive leaf extracts.
What forms can they take that in?
Those are extracts. So you would have
liquid.
It would be a liquid, and you would just do drops of it, and probably in water, and drink it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very potent. I've done the grapefruit seed, and it is brutal. They're terrible tasting, but you can dilute them with water and just drink them.
Can't you take it in a pill? No,
I'm sure that you could get pills as well. But I tend to like the liquids because they absorb better, and they're typically much more potent. So
just hold your nose and drink it down.
Just drink it down. The 7th of these 8 is green veggies and green drinks and green tea, because the EGCG in green tea has been shown to be antifungal, and the green veggies and the green drinks, they all have antifungal properties. And what's the last one?
Essential oils.
Essential oils.
Oregano.
Specifically.
Myrrh and lavender.
Yeah. Oregano, myrrh, and lavender. Those are the 3.
You think of lavender as helping you relax, but it also helps with taking down fungus.
Fungal overgrowth. And there's other essential oils that have antifungal properties.
That's
just 3 of the top ones. Sure. Okay. We're going next to the anti-angiogenic diet. And again, the thing that's beautiful about this is you can include these foods in almost any diet that you're eating, because these foods are anti-angiogenic. Angiogenesis is the process by which cancerous tumors form their own blood supply and get nutrition so they can keep growing. So if it's anti-angiogenic, it stops
killing
the
blood supply, which then kills the cancer. In fact, before we get into this, here's one thing that the juice lady, Sherry Cabome, did herself. She was very, very sick, so she did some research, decided, I'm going to do a juice fast. So she just went juicing, all fresh, raw juice that she made herself, fresh. So she did it within a couple days of this. She went to the bathroom and expelled an entire tumor. She said she saw a tumor in the toilet that had, I think, 3 blue tubules. And she said juice is like God's heavenly scissors. It's cutting that blood supply to the tumor, to the cancer. It's literally just taking that cancer away by killing that blood supply. So in the juice that she was taking, it had that in it that stopped the blood supply.
Heavy green juice.
Yeah, what specifics
here? We're going to give you a list, and look at number 2 on your sheet here. These are the compounds, or these certain foods that all have been shown to have anti-angiogenic effects. In other words, they stop the blood supply. Anti-angiogenic. So here we go. Green tea. I'm going to give you time to write them. Green tea. You should drink green tea every day. Make sure it's organic. Red grapes, tomatoes, fish oil, cruciferous veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, which we've already mentioned are antifungal too. Onions, berries,
red onions, right?
Yeah, red onions. We'll get to the specific kind here in a second, but yeah, red onions, berries, fermented dairy and soy products, just fermented and organic, of course, for the soy, and turmeric, which we just mentioned is antifungal, also been shown to be anti-angiogenic. And so I'm going to review real quickly what these things have in them specifically. Yeah, we're pushing on the time, so I'm going to go quickly. White green tea, the EGCG, has been shown to stop the blood flow to the tumors. Red grapes and red wine contain resveratrol and anthocyanins, both of which, and I've got numerous scientific studies that I'm not going to list, we're not going to list, we don't have time, that show that they inhibit tumor vascularization. In other words, the blood supply to the tumor. Tomatoes, there's lycopene in tomatoes that's shown to stop blood supply to the tumors. Omega-3 fats, which is DHA and EPA, which are in fish oil and fatty fishes, have also been shown to be anti-angiogenic. Stops the blood supply. Cruciferous veggies like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, they have indole-3 carbinol, I3C. You've probably heard of I3C. Probably seen supplements with I3C in it. That's what it is. And sulforaphanes in broccoli and cauliflower that stop blood supply to the tumor. Charlene already mentioned red onions. They contain quercetin. And that's what brought me back to in the late 90s. Quercetin was one of the first things that we learned about that was anti-cancer. Well, now we know why. It stops the blood supply to the tumors. Berries like strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries, and raspberries, they contain elagitannins, which then are converted into ellagic acid. Remember ellagic acid? Mm-hmm. We were always trying to eat these berries because we heard ellagic acid was good for you. We didn't know why. Well, the reason why is it stops blood supply to the tumor. Two more left. Curcuma longa, turmeric, which contains curcumin. That's been shown to be anti-tumor, stops the blood flow. And then lastly, a form of vitamin K, which is called menaquinone, vitamin K2 actually, which is found in fermented dairy and soy. Fermented soy like miso and natto has been shown to stop blood supply to the tumor. So those are all substances that you can include every day in your diet. You should be including
no matter what you're
eating.
No matter what type of diet you choose, those are things that you can do.
Yep. All right, so good. We flew through those. I hope you were taking notes. We're going to give you a quiz on it at the end. Just kidding. Now, this next one is the Whole30 diet. You probably heard about it. And turn to question number 6, class.
Hint.
Hint, hint, hint. Okay. What is the Whole30? This is eliminating unhealthy and inflammatory foods for, you guessed it, 30 days to help increase your energy levels and decrease inflammation and so forth. So, and also it helps with weight loss. Right.
You cut your sugar. Again, a common thread throughout a lot of these diets, cutting the sugar, first of all, alcohol, grains, legumes, dairy.
No processed foods, no junk foods, just natural foods for 30 days.
If God gave it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Basically.
And here's the cool thing about the Whole30. You pretty much anything that is natural, you can eat. Right. And anything that's processed, you can't. So you could try a Whole30 diet. We have friends from church, Danny and Amy. Hey, Danny and Amy, if you're watching. They did the Whole30, and I know Danny was talking about how great he felt after doing it. He dropped some weight and felt awesome.
Because he's eating real food.
It's a very simple diet. You eliminate anything that's processed and not natural. You eat whole foods for 30 days.
And the thing about these diets, it gives you a roadmap. If you have a specific diet, you've got that roadmap. You stay on that road that you have chosen, and one of those roads here, it's going to lead you to optimal health.
Yeah.
And you could try one and say, you know what, I think we're going to try the other one and try that and see how you feel. Mm-hmm. If you're optimized, if you feel great, stick with it and keep doing it.
And three, some of the things that if you want to try Whole30, which it's a great recommendation, try just eating natural foods for 30 days.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to try. But what you don't want sugar, alcohol, grains, legumes, beans, or dairy during that time. And also the Whole30 diet requests, they can't make you, but don't weigh yourself because it's not really about losing weight. So they ask that you not weigh yourself for the 30 days.
Your scale on how well you are doing is how well you are feeling. Yeah. Remember that. If you are nourishing your body and optimizing your health, you're going to feel it. It's not going to be something you're going to have to wonder if this is working. You're going to feel it. And, I mean, we've done a lot of different kind of diets. And we feel it. We feel it. The next one, I just wanted to introduce the next one, raw food diet. Now, let me tell y'all, we did the juice fast, and I felt such a reboot in my body and in my health, and it was fantastic. When we did all raw, I was looking in the mirror going, what is happening to my face, I look at it, it looks so much better. I had rosy cheeks, naturally rosy cheeks, and my face just looked more alive. I would look more awake, and you could see in my eyes the sparkle. So for me, I can tell you raw food works. And basically, raw food is anything that you can prepare things and mix things and put it in a dehydrator. We have an Excalibur dehydrator. It's a 9-tray dehydrator. It's fantastic. When we were doing all raw, I was using that thing all the time. It was always running. I always had some goodies in there, whether it was a raw burger, a raw pizza. I'd make the best flax crackers. Oh my goodness, you guys would love my flax crackers. I made pies, fruit leathers. My son loves a banana fruit leather. I add strawberries in there, and it just really is delicious. But the key is, do not allow that dehydrator to go above 115 degrees, because once it goes above 115 degrees, you're starting to kill that food, and it's no longer raw. Under 115, and you could sun dehydrate your food, and that's the way they used to do it in the cave days, right? When the dinosaurs roamed around. But before we had the Excaliburs, people sun dried tomatoes. Where do you think that the term came from? They dried them in the sun, and you can still do that too if you wanted. If you don't have a dehydrator and you live where it's really warm and sunny, you can put a tray of food outside, see how it does, turn it over, and let it dry out in the sun. I really recommended the Excalibur, but there probably are other brands. I don't know. Maybe they've optimized. We've been doing this for so long that, hey, maybe if you have a better suggestion, let me know, and I'll look into it. But raw food just nourishes your body, and you're getting the enzymes, the natural foods, the way that God intended for us to consume them. If we're just cooking all of our foods, you can take a wonderful, beautiful apple that is so nutritious. You put it in the oven, you're killing it. Period.
And that's the raw food diet is actually another. If you want to try whole food 30, but you want to even take it a step further, level, try going raw for 30 days. You'll feel great.
Yes.
You will most likely lose some weight if that's what you want. I mean, you can actually eat enough raw food to where you don't lose any weight if you don't have it to lose. But most likely, if you have some weight to lose, you'll lose it.
Well, the great thing is, honey, when we did the raw food diet,
you're never hungry.
We were getting nourished, so it wasn't like we're sitting there hungry. The thing is, we can eat carbs and burgers and everything, and it's funny. You eat that and you feel terrible, and then you get hungry again. Why? Because you didn't give your body nutrition. Your body's crying out to be fed nutrition. So when you're eating all raw, you're getting nourished.
Yeah, you want veggies, nuts, seeds, all these things
fruits,
you can eat
berries.
raw, fruits, berries. You'll feel great, and then nothing pasteurized or refined.
Right.
That's the two keys. So if you look at number 7, class, 115 degrees, pasteurized or refined. And pasteurized is when you heat something way over 115. So that's just, it's a great diet to try if you want to feel healthy. And you're going to get a lot of nourishment from raw foods. Try it for 30 days. I'd recommend that.
And you know what? If you do, tell us, let us know, give us your testimonies, encourage us, so we can encourage others about the success you've had on this. So the next time, see.
That's it for the last. We just want to bring a couple of things to your attention in conclusion. We've got we have experts on all of these different diets that are going to be in person at our live event in Anaheim.
Oh yeah.
From October the 11th through the 13th this year. So we really, if you haven't already gotten your spot reserved for Anaheim,
a live event,
you need to do it.
TTAC live event 2019.
Well,
yes,
I think there's a link at the bottom of your worksheet. You can click there if you wanted to reserve your spot. But
and team, if you could post a link for the guests here on this webinar. Click there, check out this out. But we talked about Jockers on fasting, and
Ed Group will be there.
Ketogenic, he will be there. Ed Group will talk about fasting and other things. We're going to have some amazing people. Carol Alt talking about raw food. She is the expert. She's going to be talking to you about raw food diets. She's written a lot of well-written and received cookbooks on all raw food. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's a picture of health because she has eaten raw for so long. So that's a great diet. She'll be there. There's going to be others there that are experts in all these different types of eating and nutrition specifically. And we wanted to give you a roadmap back to health. We did not have that roadmap. Back in 1996, when Dad was diagnosed, and then we lost his dad's brother, his cousin, Ty's cousin Glenn, and Ty's mother's mother, and her father, and finally my precious mother-in-law, all to cancer. We didn't have this roadmap, but we have it today. We have the experts on a live event, so we encourage you to go check it out. And if you have any reservations, maybe you're thinking, well, you know what? That's just too expensive for me right now. How much is your health worth? How much is the health of your family and loved ones worth? For us, we would have given anything that we had to have this information, to have mom and dad here. Mm-hmm. So it's really, it's how much does cancer cost once you actually get it? And if you have it, conventional treatments, how much do those things cost? These things are highly effective. These experts are going to be available for you to actually talk to.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the hallway after their speaking engagements and lectures, and they're going to be shaking your hand and hugging you and talking to you and helping you, and you can ask them in person. You can network at that place with other amazing people. We know that we met people that have met new lifelong friends and companions at our live events, because a lot of these people, and us, we are not excluded from this next point, have had family or friends just mock them and make fun of them because they don't understand. And there's going to be a lot of people there that do understand, that you're going to love to meet. So we encourage you.
Are you taking a vacation this year? If not, if you are, come see us. Take a vacation to California. It's a beautiful place. It's right across from Disney World. It's just a beautiful spot. And, you're going to be able to create your own support group of people. The only way that we're going to make it in this world where natural health options are becoming more and more limited and more persecuted and more suppressed, which we saw in the Wall Street Journal article last week that was a hit piece on natural cancer treatments, which we were supposed to be interviewed for. But when we mentioned to the reporter with the Wall Street Journal that we wanted to record the call, she backed out. But then they published it the next day anyway. It was a real hit piece. The only way for us to continue to get this information out here, and by the way, we're being censored on Google. You can search for the truth about cancer on Google and you won't even find us, even though we got thousands of index pages. The only way that we're going to make it is to band together
because
band together as a team.
On Google, just to be clear, we were coming up on the first page on so many different things, the truth about cancer, different keywords that you would search that buried us. They put us off of Pinterest. We're now being threatened on Facebook and we have friends that have been taken off of Facebook. So we want you to come out to the live event, network. We need to build a strong network of truth and health for life. We bring you the way, the truth, and the life, and we're going to be there in person at the live event. So please join us so we can continue to lay out this roadmap for your health and for your life. And we have just a few minutes for questions. So Gia, if you wanted to broadcast one of those questions for us, we'd love to answer a few questions here. So let's see if there's one up here that we can read. Let's see. I can't wait for Robert Kennedy. Yeah, Robert Kennedy and Carol Alt are going to be there at the live event here. Simona, are the veggies fermented in salt as good as healthy as the veggies fermented in vinegar? My teeth enamel has been greatly damaged while consuming both. I also heard that anyone with a tumor should eat a very low sodium diet.
Yeah, you can ferment in vinegar and salt, a combination of the two. It's the fermentation process that generates the health benefits. And so there's, the Gerson therapy says stay away from salt, but then there's people that have not done well on Gerson therapy when they switch to another type of diet, that their cancer reverses. So we're not of the inclination that you should avoid salt. You should avoid processed white salt.
Yes.
But there's Himalayan sea salt and so forth that are good. Sodium's a mineral, you need it. And there's been many cases of mothers particularly that avoided salt during their pregnancy that had babies that were not healthy.
Yeah, the iodine in the salt.
They want that.
Had Down syndrome babies for doing that.
Right.
Let's see. Megan Grant, I love the idea of carb cycling with healthy carbs on keto. It's been working really well for me. What are your thoughts on this? Very good. Yeah, the ketogenic diet can be really harsh, especially if you're compromising your health. So a great way to do the ketogenic diet is to cycle in and out of the carbs. Have days where you can eat carbs, maybe one day a week, or 2 days maybe and we were talking about the 5-2 fasting too. It's the same concept. You're cycling in and out of the ketogenic diet, in and out of ketosis, so that you're not shocking your body all at once with just, oh wow, I'm going to do this ketosis and no carbs at all hardly. So you can have really, when you do the carb days, you want to do healthy carbs. You don't want to go back to the processed American Standard Diet for that. Even one meal, you don't want to do that. But you can go higher in carbs, maybe have extra berries or more greens or different veggies that are higher in carbohydrates than maybe some others. Maybe you're restricting certain veggies and fruits that you love, or nuts, or I don't know what it is, but that are very healthy that you can have more of, and just look forward to that. Have your day where you have more of the carbs, because when we do ketogenic diet, we really do restrict it.
Yep.
So,
and folks, sorry, this last question, then we got to go. And hopefully, again, you'll reserve your spot. Meet us out in California. We want to see you. We ask for your support to keep this going. Just so you know, we won't make any money on the live event. We're just trying to break even to get everybody out there.
Yeah, we're doing
so that we can educate the world. So please get your ticket, and we want to meet you out there at the live event in California from October 13th or 11th to the 13th.
11th to the 13th, yes.
Yeah. And so last question, you want to read it, sweetie?
Yeah, Selena K. I'm on day 10 of Whole30 and feel better, but I miss my bread. Any options for non-bread bread? Yeah,
unfortunately, with the Whole30, I don't think there's any non-bread bread.
You know what, though?
You could do something like, I think that the Whole30 would allow you to use like a cauliflower flour to create some sort of a bread type substance.
Or coconut flour. Coconut flour. There's coconut flour. And there's cauliflower that you can. I know Brianna, when we were doing ketogenic, she made me a grilled cheese sandwich with a cauliflower bread that she made, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, so, I think that the Whole30 restricts grains, but there are different types of breads that are made that are non-grain. They might be allowed. You might want to just make sure that that's allowed on the Whole30, because we're not all that versed in exactly what's allowed with Whole30, but I think that would be.
Yes. Yeah. And one more thing before we go.
Columbo, one more thing, sir.
Yes, okay. One more. Don't forget, we just want to thank you all, Gia's broadcasters. Thank you for staying with us to the end of the webinar now. We want you to be able to download your free gift.
Yeah.
It's here using the top of this page. So at the top of this page, you're going to get your free ebook. We hope you enjoy it. Let us know.
Thank you so much. I'm looking at the numbers. We start off with like 600 people. Now there's almost over 1,100 people. So we grew 500 since we started. So thank you so much for hanging out the whole time.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you.
Well, we're really excited about these different ways of eating, these diets. And we're really, really excited about, we know the purpose of our life is to give you a roadmap back to health. A roadmap we didn't have back when we lost our family, but we do have now. We're glad you're here with us. We hope every 1,100 of you, everybody, come to the live event. We want you at the live event with us. Enjoy your free bonus book. We appreciate you being here today. We hope you've learned a whole lot, right, Ty?
Absolutely. We're so glad to be with you. We'll have another webinar soon discussing something that will help you. And in the meantime, we love you. Have a great day.
God bless.
God bless.
Bye.